Welcome to another episode of the Sound the Alarm podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Michael, here with Big John. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the newest cover athlete for Madden, the newest Honus Wagner that was just uncovered, Caitlin Clark, and so much more.
You saw who the next cover athlete of Madden is?
McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey. First running back, I think, since Adrian Peterson in like 2014, I want to say. Brings you back to like the Peyton Hillis days.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, remember Peyton Hillis?
Hard.
That was crazy.
On the Browns?
I know. What's he doing right now? If you had to guess right now, what's Peyton Hillis doing?
Working at Filthbomb.
Wow.
Somebody here is Peyton Hillis, probably.
He was a tank.
He was.
All right. Do you think they got it right, McCaffrey? If it wasn't McCaffrey, who would you pick?
I like McCaffrey. I think he's the man for the job. Good looking dude. You put him on the cover, should drive sales up. He's probably the best player in the NFL as far as talent level. Obviously, running backs don't get the love they deserve,
Right.
but pound for pound, talent wise, McCaffrey's him. Swiss Army knife gadget type of dude that can run the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball. So I actually love the choice. It's about time somebody like McCaffrey got his shine. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't throw anyone else on there.
I don't mind McCaffrey being on there. He's great, but I think they got it wrong. There was one clear choice, in my opinion. It was the year of Travis Kelce. You put Travis Kelce on the cover. You even see if you can get Taylor Swift on there. I think it had to be Kelce with the Swifties getting involved, but I don't mind McCaffrey.
Yeah, I like that. Kelce, he deserves a shine.
Follow up, though, on that. What do you think of the Madden curse? Is it
That's
real?
the only thing, but he's hurt every year anyway. So it's like, what if it's the uncurse of the Madden?
The
What if
reverse.
Yeah, reverse curse, where now if you're an injury-prone player and you're on the cover, you're healthy.
All right.
What if?
I get with that. I'm not a believer in the curse.
I am. There's too much data. Too much data.
Well, I agree that there's data, but I think it's not because of the curse. I think it's just pure odds and regression to the mean. Somebody who has a great year is put on the cover. It's pretty typical that they're not going to have as good of a year. So I don't
They
believe in
get
the
hurt,
curse.
man. Like they get hurt way too often.
Well, everyone in football gets hurt. That's part. A lot of the reason people don't have good years is because they got hurt.
Not everyone. There's way more people in the NFL than people that are on the cover of Madden, and your odds of picking someone that stays healthy is way higher than what it actually turns out to be.
Nobody stays healthy unless you pick the QBs. Nobody stays healthy.
Even QBs.
Right,
Did
even
Brady
them
go
get
down
hurt.
the year he was on the Madden cover?
I don't know. That's a good question. The year he got his knee blown out.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. I can't speak on the matter.
That would be good to look at, but I'm not a believer in it. All right, so last week we talked about the newest sale of a Michael Jordan card. It went for $2.9 million. A new card was just discovered. It was on Golden Show. A SGC5 T206 Honus Wagner. A little bit bigger than the Jordan 2.9 mil. It's estimated at $25 million. Is that right or is that crazy?
All right, here's my thing. I collected vintage for a long time.
You do know a lot of vintage, yeah. You're a big Jackie guy.
Here, like the price is right? But I don't trust it. Because the reason why it's
In what
right
way?
is it's so scarce. Like what happened with the Cobb find, right? Like the pop jumped up from like 2 to 20 overnight. Like
What happened with the Cobb find?
just there was a Cobb card that there was like 2 in existence, and they found 7, I believe, of the same exact card.
yeah, that hurts.
And it's like if you're buying that card for the scarcity, so like the whole thing with the Wagner is it's scarce. There weren't a lot produced, so there's only X amount of examples out there. Some guy has 6 of them that we don't know about. That's the thing. Like, and no one knows about. It's been in the family, handed down, and like it's gonna come out, and everyone's Honus Wagner is gonna dip 50% because it's gonna literally like double the existence of that card.
Well, it's a good point because, yeah, like you said, you're buying the scarcity of that card. Honus Wagner obviously was great, but he's not talked about as, one of the GOATs. So the reason his card is so iconic is because of the scarcity.
That's why I get scared. Now, if it's grade wise, that you can make an argument for that. Like, wow, it's the highest graded Wagner. Fine, that's cool. Same thing with like vintage. If you're like, oh, this is one of 2 PSA 10s in existence, that's cool because it's very hard to find another PSA 10. Even if you find 1,000 of that card in the wild in a shoebox, probably none of those are 10s. So it's like the only thing that scares me with a card like the Wagner, Same thing like I collect Jackie and the Bond Bread cards. Somebody walked into our shop with a collection of Bond Bread Jackie Robinsons. There were 13 graded. My man had 35 of them raw.
Right.
In my head, I'm trying to buy the collection just so he doesn't saturate the market and like all the Bond Breads go to shit.
And this guy was around the block.
Yeah.
There's
So
plenty
it's
more
like-
out there probably.
It's like there's collections out there, so I personally would tread very lightly. Not like I have 25 million to spend, but if you're doing it, you have to go in there knowing like A, you could lose the money, you don't care. You have to have that kind of money, and B, there is a chance that they become unearthed because they have in the past become unearthed, as this one
Yeah.
has.
But like you said, that's where the grade comes in. At SGC 5, that's
That's nice.
That's an incredible grade,
That's
right?
nice. But like if you have the Gretzky Wagner, the one that Gretzky owned, like all those things, any PSA 1, like, yes, it's scarce. But if 3 or 4 more pop up,
Yeah.
it's still scarce, but it ain't that scarce.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's the risk in that. Rightfully so. Everyone is talking about WNBA viewership. I love it. The main reason, I would say probably like 99% of it, is Caitlin Clark, obviously. It's up 3x WNBA viewership. Do you think, number one, that's legit? And do you think, number two, is it sustainable? Or could it even go higher?
So as far as the attendance
Yeah.
and the viewership, yes. I think it's sustainable. I think that you're looking at the future right now. People were waiting for a reason to watch.
Yeah.
And now they have it. Right? It was there the whole time, just nobody cared. Nobody wanted to watch it. Now there's a reason to watch it. So I think that is sustainable for sure. And then also from a collecting aspect, right? I know Panini tried to make the push with WNBA Prism in 2020 maybe, and Sabrina
Yeah, Ionescu
was the chase. And I remember at the time, there were people coming in the shop, hey, do you have WNBA?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, can you grade my Ionescus? Like, I want to collect WNBA cards. And I think now, so then I didn't have a daughter. Now I do have a daughter. I think, like me personally, I want to buy some nice rare Caitlin Clark cards to have her having her PC for, a couple of years from now when she's old enough to understand what's going on, So it's like, if I'm doing it, I know there's other dads out there that want to collect for their daughter, and, she's it. If you're going to collect WNBA, you're going to collect basketball cards, she's the one.
I always said the WNBA needs a Steph Curry. It's not dunking or anything like that. They needed someone shooting from logos, shooting from half court, and that's Caitlin Clark. She puts butts in the seats. I can only speak from my own experience. I only went to one basketball game this year. It was when the Lakers came to MSG so I could watch LeBron. I came this close to buying tickets to Caitlin Clark at the Barclays. The only reason I didn't is because there was a conflict. I couldn't go to it. I was going to go. So there was only 2 players in the world that actually made me go on Ticketmaster and buy tickets, and it was LeBron and Caitlin Clark. Yeah. I want to see her.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
That's what I mean. And I think as long as she continues to perform, she continues to do what people think she's going to do, nothing's going to change. It's going to be no different than wanting to watch a superstar when they're in your town,
right?
Whether it's NBA or WNBA. I mean, the numbers are speaking for themselves. Yes, it might be a hype train right now, but even if it levels out, you're going to be at 3, 4, 5x what it used to be.
Yeah, she's getting teams private jets, and they're packing out bigger arenas. She's the real deal, and she's only going to get better herself. She didn't have the best start to her career. She's just going to get better as she gets more comfortable.
60-piece nugget,
you
know, like now
that's coming at some point.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. And now on to the hit of the week, sponsored by Blue Chew. Is your significant other tired of getting packages delivered to their home? Well, maybe it's time you get them a package they actually want. Visit BlueChew.com and use promo code FILTHY to get your first month free. Bang! All right, so this week, for hit of the week, we're carrying on the mojo with Bowman Sapphire, and we actually hit the same exact card of Dylan Cruz that we did Brock Wilkin.
Oh, that's right. The Wilkin was last week's hit of the week, yeah.
So this is actually one of the top cards you can hit in the product. You obviously want his first Papa in the product and his first Papa auto, but this would be number 3. So a very, very, very big card out of a box that right now is retailing for almost $800. Join our Discord where we've been on absolute fire the entire year. And the best part is it's absolutely free. FilthbombBets.com to get in on the action today.
All right, so we had another week of betting. Steve, how'd you do this week? I know you love your round robins. Did you have a good round robin this week?
All right, so look, I'll be honest. I've been on tilt. I cashed out. When you cash out, you're on tilt.
That's true.
And it's not because I'm losing a ton. It's just I went 6 for 7 on straight bets, round robin those, hit 6 to 7 in there, and lost money on the night. So when that happens,
That's actually impressive.
yeah, it's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
And it's because I got bad beat on live bets. So what I did, took money off the table, left just enough to play for that night. And now I'm changing my approach, and I am going bigger on one bet.
Okay.
So last night I took the Pirates for 2.5 units. Skeens on the mound.
Stud.
Caught that W. And tonight I got something.
Did you just put up the Jameis Winston W?
No, this
Eating
is the
W?
Jameis.
Yeah,
This is
that's
the
the
Jameis.
best W ever. That is the best video of all time.
But I'm telling you right now, there's different techniques for betting. Round robin is the way to go if you're an above average bettor on straight bets. And the reason I say that is this. You're going to hit a 7-game parlay 0% of the time.
Right.
Literally maybe 1%, if you're lucky. Not even, right? But I personally find that if you're able to go 5-2, which how many times have you seen me go 5-2?
A decent amount. Yeah.
Then, and there's a lot of people out there that can pick 5
Yeah,
and
you
2.
can do go 5 and 2. That's reasonable.
That's reasonable. You actually will get back some return on your investment at the 5-game mark. So if you're, thinking about it, Google it, look it up. I think that the round robin is hard to understand, so people don't necessarily lean that way. And a parlay has way bigger upside, so it's easy to get sucked into the parlay. Round robin is 100% the way to go if you're looking to get away from just straight bets.
Sound the alarm! Filthbomb!
All right, so for this week, product of the week, we actually have 2. We're going to start with Series 2. 2024 Top Series 2 just came out. Steve, what are your initial thoughts?
Like me, I grew up on the flagship. I grew up on the Heritage. I grew up on the Series
love Heritage.
1, Series 2. Like, I'm a collector at heart. Although now, I aim more high end, I still love, you see me. Open
love
up
the grind.
I
Yeah, you
open
do.
up cases of Heritage. Like, who?
You're like a little, you like sorting, putting them
Yeah.
on their different piles. Here's a nice little variation.
It's
Here's a black
honestly
and white.
relaxing. It's relaxing to like sort and try to put sets together, subsets. But what I love what they did this year with Series 2, which we haven't seen anything like it since 2019 with the Vlad no number in Series 2.
Okay. What's that?
That's they put SP rookies, Holiday, they did Langford, they did Churio, and they did Jackson Merrill, and they're a lot harder to hit than the Vlad. If I remember correctly, you pulled like 2 to 3 a case on the Vlads, so they weren't really SP.
Right.
The Langford, I've seen one Churio, and we've ripped now 50 cases maybe between our channels in the last day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of the short prints. Maybe one of the guys comes every 3 cases. But the one thing they did, which is insane, which I love, a lot of people are knocking it, is the Jackson Holiday remake of the Billy Ripken card.
I love that too.
And they took it one step further. Not only did they do the fun face, they did the black box, they did the scribble,
Yep.
and now it's just been confirmed there's a saw cut, where those are the 4 of the most notorious versions of the F-face card, and they put it all back into this, which I think is a home run, no pun intended.
That was intended.
It was intended. 4 tops, and like I've said from the beginning, every single product they are putting out is better than the previous year's version of that product. This is just like, how do you make a flagship product better? That's how.
Yeah.
That's how.
It's really cool. I like that they paid tribute to old cards. I'm trying to think what they can do, like iconic cards for other people. Like
Randy Johnson had a Marlboro cigarette
Okay.
ad one where they had to block out the cigarette ad. So now it's just a black box. If you look at his 89 Fleer rookie, it's
That's cool.
a common one is that, but then the one that goes for money it has a cigarette ad in the back.
That's pretty cool.
So they could remake stuff like that.
I was thinking like the first thing that came to my mind was the Griffey Upper Deck. They could have done that with Julio, but if the Mariners get another huge prospect come up, maybe remake that rookie card for their guy. But yeah, I love that idea, and I think it's a really fun set to collect.
Yeah, it brings an extra, like layer of juiciness to the collecting thing. They also have like other things that they could remake. Now I'm thinking about it. Is they had the no name Frank Thomas on the front, which they kind of did that with Heritage, but you do that with a Topps product, that would be crazy, like a regular flagship Topps. And they could really get creative. I think we're going to see that in the coming.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'm in for that. The second product, Optic Basketball. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the last flagship Panini product with Wemby. You had Select already, you had Prism, and now it's Optic. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting?
Contenders, but he's not going to.
Yeah, no, Contenders I don't think is really.
Cracked
you're just
Ice.
looking for the cracked ice autos, though. For
Contenders
the most part.
Optic, maybe you're looking for the golds.
Okay, Optic, but I think
But this
regular
is,
Optic.
as far as flagship,
Yeah.
this is it. I think it's going to be good. It's one of those weird products where the Spurs are going to have to be like 20% of the case.
Yeah.
Just because
His color's going to go big again.
not even the slammy,
Oh, I love that new
Wemby.
insert. Love it.
like that's going to go. If a Brandon Miller slammy, let's just say is $500, what's a Wemby?
He's close to 5x it. Like,
Yeah, 2,500, 3K, right?
Yeah, right.
So if you have the Hornets priced at $300,
yeah. That sounds about
crazy.
right. I know, it is crazy.
it's crazy.
But speaking of just the slammy insert, I absolutely love that. If anybody doesn't know, it's like the Donruss baseball whammy, just basketball version. It's called Slammy. They've got like big heads, little cartoon aspect to it. I love it. I can't wait to see it. The checklist is pretty good. They have a lot of names on it. So
Did they say
I'm
how
excited.
SP it is?
They didn't say how SP it was, but I know FOTL is being ripped. And I looked on eBay, and I only saw maybe 5 Slammies. I saw like a Jaylen Brown, a Steph Curry. Didn't see any Wemby, no LeBron.
Like, I'm curious if it's going to be as rare as the Prismatics. Or not the Prismatics. What was the...
Prismatic was in.
yeah, that was it, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, like, if it's that type of ratio, because I know those were like 1 every 10 cases. So if they do the same thing for Optic, that would be...
Yeah, that would be nice. It would keep the value high.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so last thing we want to talk about, Jerry West, the logo. R.I.P. He passed away. We all know how amazing of a basketball player he was. We don't really have to get into that. That's undisputable. What I want to say is, do you think there's an opportunity for anyone else to take over as the logo? I know we can honor Jerry West and keep the logo forever. Let's just, for argument's sake, just say, who would you want as the logo, if anybody, to take over?
I mean, I think the only answer is Jordan dunk contest.
No.
I think the Jordan dunk contest, the Air Jordan logo, like that is,
I'm not doing it.
that's the logo, man.
It's the logo, and here's why I'm not doing it. It's not because I'm a LeBron fan. I also love Jordan. I'm not doing it because his logo already is so like entrenched in everybody's mind. That brand is so strong already. You don't need to duplicate it onto the NBA logo. I also wouldn't put LeBron logo on there.
I mean,
You
he
know-
doesn't have a pose really. What does he have? The
right,
tribute dunk?
Right. It wouldn't really work. So it's not exactly who's the best player. Jerry West wasn't the best player, but he was the logo.
No, but I feel like it's one of the most iconic poses ever.
You know who I'm putting on there? Someone who obviously is a great player. He's not the best, but changed the game like insanely. He changed the game more than anybody.
Curry?
Steph Curry.
Yeah, but what's his? You would have to.
You put him shooting a 3 on there, or like,
That's actually not a bad
You
look.
can come up with a good logo. I don't know what the exact picture is, but if you were going to change the logo, I'm putting Curry on.
Or what about the Jordan? That goes hard.
It's cool, but I don't think as far like you'd have to put that logo on all
Yeah, I think that'd be
uniforms. And everything.
nice.
It's too much. It's too out there. I think it would be like putting the Steph Curry going to sleep.
Oh, that would go hard.
It
too.
would, but it has to be like a normal. It has to be a normal picture. You're talking about the NBA logo, but Steph Curry changed the game more than anybody. Little kids, the entire game of basketball around the world changed because of him. If you were changing the logo, I'd put Curry on there.
I wouldn't oppose that. All right, well, that does it for another episode of the Sound the Alarm podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week, and until the next podcast, till the next case box pack break, we're signing off and saying, sayonara, bro, Tanies. Catch you on the flip side, and make it a filthy one.